My name is Mohan, my last name is Uncle.
He's funny.
All right, okay. Welcome to the Hindu temple. I'm now going to talk about the outreach activities of the temple, such as Pathshala or youth activities, etc. Because I'm going to call you students are going to talk about it. So, the purpose of this presentation by me is to enable you to go, when you're inside the temple, to look at these deities and in a way that you understand it a little bit better. Okay? So, Hinduism, quickly, the things I want to tell you, Western authors would have, I'm going to say, misrepresented. So, you're going to find out things that are written according to our scriptures, which Hinduism has one God that is called Brahman, which is manifested in multiple forms to depending on the values. Each deity represents a value. The deity can be in the form of a male, a female, an animal, a bird. So, and that is because Hinduism believes that creation came out of the Creator. Whether inanimate, inanimate, all these objects are creation created by the Creator. So therefore, everything has got divinity in it. So we believe every human being, at a minimum, has got divinity in them. So we represent, for example, both men and women are supposed to wear a dot or a line or something to that effect, or parallel lines like this in ash, basically saying, don't look at me as an object, look at me as somebody who has divinity inside me. So we say namaste, which means I bow to the divinity inside you. That's how we greet, that we are supposed to greet. With that quick background, basic principles that the first people have to follow is free will, even though, I'm sorry, I take it back. The overarching principle we have is ahimsa, which is non-injury. Do not think ill of in your thoughts, words, or action. Underneath that is karma, which is you're responsible for your own action. Every action's got an equal and opposite reaction. So your karma, which is done through free will, not through past births, and we believe in multiple births. And all souls attain salvation after they get rid of all their negative aspects of whatever their acts were. In other words, God doesn't sit and punish or reward. It is you are responsible for your own actions. That you pray to the Lord so that you exercise good judgment in doing your actions. So the deities that you will see inside the temple could be male or female. Each deity you have to look at, most of them anyway, will have a big deity out in the altar, which is probably weighs anywhere from 300 to 500 pounds. These are made of granite, imported piece by piece from India in containers by ship, and then we have special artisans whose father, grandfather, great-grandfather, they were all artisans specializing in this particular art. They're called shilpis, and they were here for multiple years in the 70s and again in the early part of this century, from 2003 to 2007 or so, when we had an expansion. So they spent time here and they were sculpting. All right? So you will see deities that are male form, female form, although our religion says God has no form. God is formless. God is beyond time, space. God is omniscient, omnipresent, and so on. All these qualities cannot be limited. So God can appear in male, female form, male form, and also in front of each deity, in the major deity, which is 300 to 500 pounds, for example, goddess Lakshmi, who is the symbolism of wealth. There is a smaller goddess Lakshmi, whom that particular deity when during festivals dedicated to that deity, we actually carry them. All these devotees carry them around, just like you and I go out for the evening. We take them out around the block, if you will, just like any human being, because we know how to entertain only in our own limited human way, because God is so far ahead of all of us we can only begin to understand by putting God in our own form, our own values. So that's why we go around doing it. We dress them the way we dress. We bathe them the way we bathe. We put on all these symbols and so forth. And you will see that. Obviously, we do the smaller deity of the Lakshmi, for example, because it's tough to carry 500-pound deities around the block. So we have a Mulavar and a Utsavar, as we call it in Sanskrit. Our ancient languages and all the writings are in Sanskrit. So in each of the major deities, at least in here, will have a small vehicle in front of them. It could be a peacock, it could be a bull, it could be a lion, and so on and so. It could be a mouse. The interesting part of this temple is each and every temple has got a primary deity. And for this temple, the primary deity is Ganesha. Ganesha has got stories behind as to why Ganesha looks the way he looks. We have a human body below the neck, and we have an elephant face with a tusk above the neck. There are at least a couple of popular stories as to why, which is not part of the discussion today. So Ganesha is the primary deity in this temple. There are temples that we have 4 different subsects within Hinduism. We have Vaishnavism, we have Lord Vishnu. We have Shaivism, Lord Shiva. We have Devi, or the female goddess. And then we have a 4th called Smartism, which is you can pray to all these primary deities, that is inclusive. Part of Hinduism's main tenet is that there are many paths to salvation. No one religion, no one way is the only way to salvation. So there are many paths to salvation, and it's up to, and therefore Hindu religion is an individual journey to attain salvation, using religion as your GPS per se. So with that you will see the vehicles, and then you will also, by the way, each of the deity, the creation is associated with the deity of Brahma, the preservation part of it is associated with the deity of Vishnu, and the destruction and recreation, double duty for Lord Shiva, because he has to dissolve and recreate. In other words, manifest the creation, take it inside, unmanifest, manifest again, so that it's an endless cycle of creation, preservation, and dissolution. So with that you will see several male and female deities. There's a particular deity called Lakshmi and Saraswati and Durga. Oddly enough, each of these male energy deities, for example, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, who's the creation you need to be an engineer. You need brains, you need knowledge. Guess what? He has the female consort. So if you want to have anything done with smartly, you have to have a female. So there you go. So you have the female part of Lord Brahma is Saraswati. Likewise, the female part of preservation is Lakshmi, because you need wealth to survive. Wealth doesn't mean just money, all the resources. So Lakshmi is for that, consort of Lord Vishnu. And Shiva, you need power, you need to dissolve. So we have Devi or Durga. So each female consort of each of the male deity basically puts the undefinable divine into the way we understand. Okay? So the priests that you will see in there are priests who have been to school for anywhere up to 12 years. Then they become a full-fledged priest. They leave their house around 8 or 9 years old and stay at the teaching school and come back 12 years later, become a priest. And then they start their life. All these priests have been interviewed and selected from India, mainly from South India, and then brought over here over a period of time. Actually, they all live upstairs over there. All the priest quarters are right upstairs. And last but not the least, if you see a weapon on the deity, the weapon not necessarily, on the face of it, it looks like it's destroying a devil or a demon, but the real symbolism, because Hinduism is about symbolism, just like a flag gives you patriotism, looking at it gives you patriotism. You look at the weapon is supposed to be knowledge that destroys your ignorance. That's what the weapon stands for. You can't take it at face value, you have to understand. You can look at the deity in different levels. One at the level that your eyes can see, then you understand from the point of your brain, and then you go to the spirits. Mind, body, and spirit can all get involved in the divine. And that requires a lot of training. So that is a 10-minute capsule of what takes 2.5 years to teach. So with that, and I don't want to go make their presentation redundant. I don't want to talk about anything else. Are you guys going to talk about the temple too?
Yeah, renovation.
Okay, but then you talk about when it was created, etc. This presentation is for you to go and view the temple and then look at the deities, look at the values behind each deity, and then appreciate the beauty of it. And then you'll see the priest will introduce, quote unquote, each devotee that brings a small fruit or whatever, or flower to offer to the deity, get it blessed and take it back. It's not group salvation, it's individual salvation, because each individual soul is at a different level of progress in their evolution. So we don't believe we have a group of people all can attain salvation at the same time. Each one's responsible at running at their own pace, so to speak. They will also see somebody maybe breaking a coconut, which is auspicious, but coconut really means in order for you to attain salvation, the first thing you get rid of is your hard shell outside, which is our ego. Get rid of your ego before you start coming into the temple regularly. Those are the kind of symbolism that you get to understand.